The man of many words, Mahesh Bhatt, has finally spoken again, and this time he's made the internet stop and look back and question all the cult classic films which were a failure once at the box office.
Which brings us to a question to you guys sitting at home. Do tell us, according to you, which film has not got its due credit as a cult classic, whether it's a new film, whether it's an old film, whichever it is that you feel should have got that credit, do write in and let us know using the hashtag. Before we get on with this story, let's read out what Mahesh Saab has said. He says, I am more interested in the longevity of my films than by their debut grosses. I ask, does it have anything to say in 10 years or 20 years? Could it still have legs? Could it still be around? History is rife with films that we love today that were bombs on their opening weekend. I love the way he puts things. He puts things in such poetic ways. It makes you actually sit back and think about, how the depth of his words. And these words in itself are very, very deep. जहाँ पर वो कह रहे हैं कि मैं अपनी ऐसी फिल्में देखना चाहता हूँ जो आगे चल के मतलब successful हो by the sheer virtue of the fact that they have a recall value. They people want to tune in and watch them, and they have become cult classics in spite of the fact that they haven't done well at the box office.
Right, and it's very, very, very important to talk about this, Manish, because we all are caught up with the numbers. We're all caught up कि opening weekend पे कौन सी movie ने कितना कमाया. And if we look at the history गवाह है कि Bollywood movies की जो cult classic movies हैं, वो actually सबसे बड़ी failures रही हैं box office पर. अगर हम बात करें मेरा नाम जोकर की, we talk about अंदाज अपना अपना, we talk about जाने भी दो यार.
जाने भी दो यार.
If you were to look back, you won't even believe that these were the movies which actually didn't do well at the box office. But that's the thing with classic movies. That's the thing with movies that are ahead of their time, that have something to say. क्योंकि सबसे पहली बार जब आप उनको देखते हो, वो palatable नहीं होती हैं. They do not stick well with you. It takes a time for you to get used to that idea that it is something worth watching and worth looking at again.
Barring a few of these films, in the recent years, if you talk about The Sky is Pink or you talk about Article 15, these films again are ahead of their time. And wait and watch, in another 10, 20 years, The Sky is Pink will go down in history as one of cult classics, as a reference point for, really good films, and so will Article 15. But on the whole, we see more and more films that are new age, that are current, that have, a more appeal to a very relevant audience that are actually doing well today.
True that. Relevance is something that keeps the movie, there. And I think, which is joy hota hai na, to go back and watch a film again. I mean, it is something to say about a film that you can watch it 5 times and it will again speak to you in a different way. And I think those are the movies that you grow with. Those are the films that directors are actually very proud of. And Mahesh Bhatt definitely comes from that school of thought. Having said that, he's given us a very good reasons to celebrate those cult classics that we have kind of forgotten to celebrate, right?
When I first watched Andaz Apna Apna in the late 90s, this film was released in 94. तब भी मैंने उस film को देखी नहीं थी. But when I did understand the film and when I rewatched it today, it's hard for me to understand कि ये film इतनी flop कैसे हुई थी. I mean, it was a Rajkumar Santoshi film. It was an incredible film. It was made so well. Everything, the nuances, the comedy, everything was so timeless and seamless. And that film flopped. So it's hard for me to understand कि कैसा हुआ था. But like you said earlier, कि it's a question of the film had been released ahead of its time. It had this same film been released today, it would have been a super duper success. चाहे हम महेश भट्ट की फिल्म की बात करें जो कि है ज़ख्म, which again was a brilliant film, which had Pooja Bhatt and Ajay Devgan, which was a brilliant, and Kunal Khemu, of course. It was a brilliant film. It was made so well with such, an intelligent and beautiful plot point with, the fact that, there's this child who's trying to bring his parents together. It was such a moving story, but the audience wasn't ready for it, in my opinion.
True that, Manish. Well, that does bring us to the point back again कि हम लोग को तो realize हो गया that these were the cult classics for us that took their time to actually come into the notice of people. Which are the movies you think deserve this title of a cult classic and haven't gotten so far?
Watch Planet Bollywood from Monday to Friday at 9 p.m. only on Zoom.